Hi everyone, it's Raphael again, and today I'm going to ask you guys for some help. Like I said, I really want this to be our channel, and for that I do need your help, and I'll tell you about that later. But I also want to let you know that I'm trying to do pretty much 2 videos a week instead of just one. The reason being, I know that April is coming up, and some of you who have your own schools might know that April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Now, as martial artists, as people who teach self-defense, it would be a good idea, I believe, for all of us to try to promote this and talk about sexual assault, maybe start a conversation. I know that a lot of us do teach children, and we think, well, we want to keep stuff like this away from them, but some of us also teach people who are in high school, maybe going to college, and some of those people may actually end up getting into that type of problem where they're going to get assaulted. Now, especially when you look at the figures, I'll talk about those later. The other thing I wanted to ask is about something a student asked me about, and that is there a martial art lifestyle? I thought that was an interesting question, and as I thought about it, I realized something. I have friends that I've met through martial arts, and I'm sure all of you do too, where we met through martial arts. They're great people, and we're not necessarily on the same page on anything else, but we can both decide to disagree on a lot of things. We shake each other's hands. We're always happy to see each other, and even if we don't see each other regularly, we have a connection, which is kind of odd if you think about it, because a lot of people hold certain beliefs so dear to them that it ends up not allowing them to have friends outside of their immediate group. I know that some of you who I've met a lot and I've talked to a lot, we argue on everything else but martial arts. And sometimes our styles aren't even that close, but we can still get around all our differences, meet on this one subject, and have a great time, talk, and enjoy everything, and enjoy our times together. And so I started thinking about that, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, and that's part of the reason why I want to expand this a little, at least for now, is I want to talk about tools in martial arts. Now, to show you what I mean, why I want to talk about tools, I'm going to start with this. Now, this is a stethoscope, and you've seen your doctors in clinic bring it around their neck and walk around. And no, it's not just meant to look cool in front of everyone. It actually is a tool. You put this in the hands of someone who doesn't know how to use it. They might listen to your heart and take your beats per minute, and that's it. But when someone knows how to use this, whether it's a nurse, a respiratory therapist, a general practitioner, doctor, a physician assistant, a nurse practitioner, a bunch of clinicians, you give this to them and they can determine a lot of amazing things. For instance, a lot of doctors can end up taking this, listening to the different valves of the heart, and with that, they can end up telling you if a valve is leaky, if there's a problem with the heart. They can tell you a lot of different things. Some people can actually take this, listen to a newborn infant's heart, and tell you if there's a problem with it that they need to address now. You give this to someone who works with lungs. They can listen to the lungs and tell you if you have asthma or not, or if you have signs of asthma, if you have bronchitis, pneumonia. They can actually use this to detect a lot of problems. If you give this to a GI specialist, he can listen to the intestines and see how they're working. You can use it to determine rough sizes of certain organs like the liver and see if you might have problems with the liver. You give this to a vascular surgeon. He could listen to the neck and find out if you have vascular problems that are going to affect your brain. And so this little tool has multiple uses if a person is trained to use them and they understand that it's a tool that has many other uses besides just listening to a heart. Listening to the heart is one of the uses, but it's just the most basic use. I am going to try to talk about different tools. And the first one I want to talk about right now is the gi. Now, a lot of people will talk about how it's not really worth it. You know, it's just something to give everyone the same mindset. But the gi is really important for a lot of reasons, especially with beginners. And so with that, I'm going to actually show you certain things that we can use the gi for. Please, if you have any other way you use a gi, please put it on comments on the bottom so we can actually share these two with everyone. Really, the best thing with knowledge is to share it with as many people as are willing to listen to it. Okay, hello everyone, it's Raphael again, and you see me for the first time, probably one of the first times without a hat. So yes, I still do have hair. I'm going gray everywhere, and one of the things I am doing is I wanted to show you the gi, not just as a uniform, but as a learning tool. Now, one of the things you'll notice is the lines, and you can actually see if someone is moving here by a lot of different things. You can actually look at the belt, and you can see the hips moving. You can also use the lines in the pants to see if they're keeping their leg where it should be, or if it's doing the Elvis. Now, think about this. When you're teaching someone to punch, a lot of times you'll see people punching here. All they're doing is punching with their arm. And if you remember, here you can actually hit, and you're going to get some movement, but not too much. If you, in other words, use the hips, well, by using a uniform, you can see the OB move from here to here. So when you see the punch, you can end up coming and punching. That's one of the big things with the gi. The other thing that people actually forget is that a lot of times if you're doing grabs and pulls, you can actually release the ties, and as someone grabs you and pulls, what ends up happening is this acts like a shirt. If you think about it, if I were to grab my white t-shirt without this and just pull it here, it would probably stretch just like this. Now with the gi, you get the stretch, but then just pull it back and you're ready to do a lot more. Now, the other thing I actually like the gi for is if you're actually doing anything where you're trying to push the person off. Now think about it. Sometimes you have students who you want to teach them some sort of leg trip or sweep or even a throw, but they don't know how to fall. With the gi, one of the advantages, if I throw someone and they're not wearing a gi, I can only throw them a certain way, and then I have to stop so I don't hurt them. With the gi, as you do have, sit here. As you do have this thick collar, even in the lightest uniforms, you can use that to hold someone up if you throw them or if you're sweeping them to keep them from falling down. So it does have a couple different uses I have seen. Maybe you find a couple others, but one of the things is, if you think about it, with blocks, with punches, you can use the movements and you can see how everything is. You can also tell the difference on where the shoulders are. Now there are some styles that tend to bring the shoulders forward, and you can see it here. If you can bring them back here, and if you're one of the people like me who likes your shoulders back when you punch, you can see if you're doing it here or if you're throwing the shoulder. Yes, you could do it bare-chested, but this also gives you another thing. You do have some people who may not necessarily want to be bare-chested when they're exercising. And so one of the things is it does give you something you can use and see the movement where you don't have to be bare-chested. Another thing is if you are sparring, it can give you something to pretty much keep if someone is maybe bare-chested, can keep you from rubbing against them. So, like I said, a gi is only a tool. Now, the people who say that a gi has no purpose, really what they're saying is they can't find the purpose for using a gi. But I think most of us should be able to find a lot of reasons why we want to use a gi. And if you can, please, again, put on comment different things you can use for the gi for. Share it with us. The other thing, like I said, I'm actually trying to see what people think of what a martial art lifestyle is. Mostly because I'm just curious. Again, I'm going to be trying to do 2 videos instead of just 1. I hope I can continue. And again, if you're thinking of doing a seminar in April, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, I'm going to try to give you a lot of facts and figures in these coming videos. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you can find more uses for these as well.